Hey everyone, it's Melissa Hurt of Integrative Studio, here with another video to help you become clear, productive, and influential. In this video, I'm going to share with you, through teachings from the Yoga Sutras, that you are not your thoughts. You can free yourself from suffering when you understand that you are not your thoughts. There is a deeper essence in you and of you. And I'm going to share with you a few passages from the Yoga Sutras to help you understand that truth. Now, this is an important topic for me because I used to really suffer from anxiety. And I was just very reactive to everything that was around me, other people, sounds, places, expectations, my work, everything just felt like it was pressing on me. And it wasn't until I discovered yoga that I started to release these layers that were weighing me down and began to step into my true self. And that took some time, don't get me wrong. But I want you to hear my message loud and clear. You are not your thoughts. You can be free from suffering when you understand that there is an inner light in you and of you that is sitting at your core. And for me personally, when I meditate and I feel that sense of clarity and space, I tend to feel it at the seat of my heart. You might feel it in other places, but know that it's there. So let me get into the Yoga Sutras and where it can illuminate this truth for you. So the Yoga Sutras are an ancient treatise of yoga about the art of yoga and the science of yoga. And I'm going to be referring to B.K.S. Iyengar's book on the Yoga Sutras. Now, I've read several translations of the Yoga Sutras. There are many out there, but I love B.K.S. Iyengar. I have several of his books. I like the way he talks about yoga philosophy, so I'm just choosing this one for right now. But you could read any translation of the Yoga Sutras to learn this truth for yourself. Now, the very first Yoga Sutra says, now we begin the practice of yoga. It's just saying, okay, we're starting. And you can think of it in a larger sense of an intention. Okay, I'm going to get off the hamster wheel of my life and I'm going to start being present in this practice. Now, I have learned from my teacher, Nikolai Bachman, that the first Yoga Sutra doesn't mean it's meant to go that deep. It really is just a starter of the book, saying, okay, the book is starting. But I also like thinking about it as being intentional with your practice. But Yoga Sutra number 2 gives us the definition of yoga, and I'm going to read it to you exactly as translated by B.K.S. Iyengar himself. So the Sanskrit is yoga chittavritti nirodha, and that translates to yoga is the cessation of movements in the consciousness. Other translations say yoga is the stopping of the fluctuations of the mind. And I particularly like that translation because when you are living with anxiety or feeling the weight of expectation, you feel like there are thoughts churning in your mind and they're agitating. Think about how a washing machine works, how it's agitating the water and the detergent and the clothing, and they're rubbing against each other and all the suds are happening. I feel like that's happening in my mind when I'm overwhelmed with thoughts and feelings and expectations. So yoga is stopping that. Yoga is the union of mind with body and breath, so we can find divinity or God or that universal consciousness that connects us all. And so if we're committing to a path of yoga, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to get a yoga mat and do all the movements and the poses, although Iyengar does say that's a good way to go about it. But yoga is meant to be any practice that quiets the mind and connects you with your deepest sense of self. So for some people, that might be going on a long walk in nature and just being with nature and connecting with nature. Because in that way, you are one with nature, and those fluctuations of the mind have stopped, and you have accessed a deeper sense of self that is connected with the beauty that's all around you, because that beauty is inside of you. Now, BKS Iyengar continues in his translation of the Yoga Sutras, does all the Yoga Sutras, of course, but Yoga Sutra 1.3 says, and I'm not going to read them all in Sanskrit out of respect for the language because I might butcher it. But Yoga Sutra 3 translated says, and this is after you have stilled the fluctuations of the mind, says, then the seer dwells in his own true splendor. So when you've quieted the mind, you dwell in your own splendor. Yoga Sutra 1.4 says, at other times, the seer identifies with the fluctuating consciousness. And BKS illuminates this in his teaching on this Yoga Sutra. He says, when the seer, that's you, identifies with consciousness or with the object seen, he unites with them and forgets his grandeur. And this is what I want to talk about. When we connect with or attach to our thoughts, we begin to feel like they're us and that that's our truth. And what Iyengar is teaching in this translation and his teachings on the Yoga Sutras, and what I'm here to share with you is that it's not you. The thoughts are not you. The thoughts are like the ticker tape that you see on a news channel that are just passing through. You can hold on to that ticker tape and go on a ride with it, or you can find space between that and just observe the thoughts moving by and know that you are the one observing. Okay? Sally Kempton is a very famous meditation teacher, and she has a meditation practice where you're just sitting and you're watching the thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. And so I want to share that practice with you. Can you sit in a place of quiet? And you'll notice your thoughts. Now, we will always have thoughts. Even in a meditation practice, we will have thoughts because we are conscious thinking people. But we don't have to identify with the thoughts. And we certainly don't have to get looped in a narrative about those thoughts that are triggering again and again and again. We can find objectivity. We can find space and separateness from those thoughts and know that at the seat of ourselves is our own true grandeur. So to feel your thoughts passing like clouds in the sky, just sit and breathe and just feel the shape of you, the periphery of you, and feel the spaces inside of that shape. Feel how your breath is moving. And then you'll feel your thoughts coming in and out, coming through, and just observe them in the same way that you observe your breath, in the same way that you observe your heartbeat, in the same way that you observe the sound your hamster's making in the background, whatever it is. It's just another element of your reality, but it does not create your whole truth. So find freedom in that. Find freedom in that there is a you beneath these thoughts that is filled with light and love and space. And how do you access it? Well, the Yoga Sutras say through the practice of yoga, which has 8 limbs to it. It's not just yoga asana or the movements. That's only one. But meditation practice, a conscious practice of kindness to other people, self-study and self-discipline practices, withdrawing your senses from the world and just coming into yourself. There's lots of ways to go about it, but they all will connect you to a deeper sense of light and love inside of you. And a quick, easy way to access it comes to us through another Yoga Sutra. So let me find that now. Oh, and before I get to this quick and easy practice, I want to share with you one more profound Yoga Sutra in the first chapter. Yoga Sutra 1.13. It says, so we have these fluctuations of the mind. It says, practice is the steadfast effort to still these fluctuations. So practice, not perfection, not the system, practice. So give grace for yourself for showing up every day to connect with your breath, connect with that deeper sense of who you are. And the more that we practice the stilling of these fluctuations of the mind, the more rigor that practice will take, and it becomes more and more true for ourselves, and it becomes a daily discipline, and it becomes a way of life. And you begin to realize that you have more substance and more faith than you would have known otherwise. So practice is the way to go about it. But now, the quick and easy way to access that inner sense of grandeur, and there's several ways to go about it, but this is just one. In Yoga Sutra 1.34, it says, by maintaining a pensive state felt at the time of a soft and steady exhalation and during passive retention after exhalation, that's a way to access a favorable consciousness that is serene and benevolent. So let's feel that together. You're just going to take a nice breath in like you're smelling something you love, and just sigh it out and hold that breath out. And then slowly breathe in again. Breathe out through the nose now. Hold it out. And then notice how your body wisdom will inherently fill up with breath again when it's time. Now, on that exhalation, and on the end of that exhalation, I want you to feel your heart and your space. Feel it from inside. One more time. And there's a quiet and a stillness. That's you. That's you. You are not your thoughts. You are the quiet and the stillness at the seat of an exhalation that you feel in your heart, in your upper belly, which is the center of your personal power, your way of knowing. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you. I really hope that this video helps you. I hope it's an entryway into starting a personal practice to enrich yourself and get to know yourself and love yourself. And if this video resonates with you, please leave a comment below. I would really love to connect with you on this. Give the video a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel so you can be first in line to get my videos on how to become clear, productive, and influential. Thanks.